Are you stuck in the physical therapy grind? Here's how to flip your cash physical therapy side hustle into a six-figure annual income much faster than you think. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the exact 4 steps to hit $100,000 per year as a cash physical therapist, even if you've just started your practice. Hey, if you don't know me, I'm Jordan Mather, and just in the last 3 years, I've guided more than 500 cash physical therapists to scale their practices to consistent 10K, 50K, even $200,000 per month. So yeah, I've seen what works. Plus, throughout this video, I'm going to be sharing powerful tools like our income and pricing calculator, our cash physical therapy copy blueprint, which is an AI software that we've developed. All of the resources I'm going to be sharing are designed to help you accelerate your growth. Every single one of the tools and resources I'm going to be talking about, you can find beneath this video. And if you get value out of this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more training on what's working right now in the world of cash physical therapy. Let's dive in. Okay, first things first, before we can build a plan to scale our business to the point where we're generating a six-figure income every single year, first we have to know exactly what our numbers are going to be. So we need to know exactly how much money do we actually want to make. So we need to know what our goal income is. We need to know our goal treatment hours and how much time we need for admin work and all the other things we're going to be running in our business. And from there, we're able to determine what our goal rates are going to be, okay? Because we don't want to set rates that aren't going to take us to the goal that we actually have for ourselves in terms of our personal income and how many hours we're actually going to be treating, okay? And based on those, it's going to determine what kind of service, what kind of experience we're going to need to provide that is going to justify whatever rates we're going to set up and begin to charge. So I have a tool that we use to plug in all of these numbers to help us determine our current rates, what they need to be in order for us to hit our goal. Because a lot of people, they strive to try to get just to 10K a month inside of their practice, not realizing it's like, that doesn't mean you have a 10K income. We have operating expenses that we have to factor into. And so I'm going to quickly show you a resource that we've put together called the Pricing and Acquisition Report. And so this is a tool that we've created that basically takes the expenses that we know we need to have within a business and what percentages our income should be deployed to each of these areas. And then it factors in, okay, how much do we actually need to be making to hit our goal income, and what do we need to be charging in order to hit those numbers? And so if we want to make a $10,000 income, and you can find this beneath this video, but in each of these yellow areas, this is where we actually punch in our numbers, and all the green is what we actually need to be charging in order to hit these numbers. And so if we want to make $10,000 a month, and we want to see 25 patients a week and reserve 7 to 8 hours for admin work and for business development to create a 40-hour work week, well, and then in order to hit that, we need to be charging at least $200 per visit. And then it breaks down what our general pricing recommendations would be for our packages in order to hit that. Now, we can play around with this. Now, maybe you're not charging $250. Maybe you are charging just $200 for an evaluation, and maybe your follow-up visits are only $150. Okay, so if we punch that in for $150, now we know that at this rate, our average revenue or our average price per visit is going to be below what we need to be in order for us to hit our 20K goal. And so realize that in order for us to be able to hit the numbers that we set for ourselves, this 10K income goal number, what we actually need to do is to hit a $20,000 a month revenue price point inside of our practice. And so go and download this resource, play around with these numbers to help you determine, like, do I need to be charging more? If so, how much? And what should my package structure be? We recommend a 6-pack, a 10-pack, and a 16-pack. We found that the average patient, they take the 10-pack. That's primarily what it is that we recommend, but you can play around with this and figure out what numbers are going to suit you and your goals this year. This is the setup that I highly recommend for you just starting out. If you're willing to go higher than this, like, we want this number, your average rate, to be $200. Sure, it's not how we drew it up, but now we're in the price zone that we actually want to be at, and you might have a lower average visit rate. Okay, maybe yours is just 6 visits. Okay, that's still going to put you in the realm where you're going to be safe, but you want to make sure, and I'm going to talk about this later in this video, that we're optimizing for average number of visits per patient by adding in performance or some other continuity to get more people in to stick around longer rather than always having to find a new patient. Now, you might be asking yourself, like, what if I don't want to sell cash packages? What if I want to just sell on a per visit basis? And that's a good question because there are multiple ways that you can do this, but it does slow down your progress pretty tremendously when you break down the actual numbers here. So if we want to hit $20,000 and we're charging $200 per visit, okay, that means that every single month we have to hit 100 visits each and every month in order for us to hit our target. Now, if instead we're charging and we're selling a $1,500 package, well, now we only need to sell 13 packages in order to hit that same number. So compared to we need to work and make sure we get 100 visits, now we just need to focus on selling 13 evals into packages. Okay, so it is substantially less work to focus on selling packages where you're getting fast infusions of cash coming into the business. Now, this also means that if you're at 100 visits at $200 per visit, this means that you are completely maxed out at your 25 visits per week rate. Now, if you just sell 13 packages, this means that you could be doing the same revenue with almost half the volume of patients seen every single month, creating more capacity to increase your revenue while also giving you more time to focus on other business initiatives. So selling packages is a really good deal. Not only do we get more buy-in from our patients, but we're creating a richer experience, stronger relationships, getting better outcomes and better referrals, all while creating more cash flow coming into the business that we can then reinvest back into growth, back into marketing, back into better equipment, and eventually hiring our team. Now, step number 2 is understanding who it is that you actually want to work with. Who are you and who are your people? We attract who we are. And so if you're not a CrossFitter, if you're not a rock climber, it doesn't make sense to start going after these populations, right? And so we wanted to start with the people who already hang out in the arenas that we hang out with. If you're an avid gym goer, maybe we start with those more active people. If you like to run or you're a weekend warrior, we start with those populations. And so start with who you know really, really well, because they're going to connect with you and they're going to be more inclined to buy from you if they can connect with you and relate with you. Now, there's a really important thing here because people do this all the time. Don't niche yourself out of business. What I mean by that is a lot of people will decide to go for, rock climbers or gymnasts or these other smaller pockets of people. Going after smaller pockets of people where there's not even enough people in the market at any given time to fill their schedule. And so we don't want to niche ourselves right out of business. And so we want to choose pockets of people where there are way more of them and we can be a little bit more general. So we want to go after maybe just active adults or new moms. That gives us a little bit more leverage with what kind of ailments are people dealing with, giving us more opportunities and more marketing opportunities and offers that we can create to pull people into the practice. Now, if your dream is to work with surfers, that's perfectly fine. But what we find works the best for doing that is starting out here. And then as you grow, as you're able to delegate and offload some of your patients to other people and buy back your time, now with the healthy self-sustaining business, because you have a team member in there, now you can allocate your resources to figure out how to niche down even deeper to only be working with the people that you love working with. Now, once you've decided what population you're working with, like golfers, like runners, CrossFit, maybe new moms. And so once you choose which population you really want to focus on with, we've created pickleball players. These are all great populations to work with. Software that we've called the Cash Physical Therapy Copy Blueprint. Now, what this does is it creates an entire profile of your ideal patient population that covers all their greatest fears, their secondary fears, their desires, their secondary desires, the expensive alternatives they have to working with you. And it creates this really nice report that you can use to write really powerful messaging and offers and tailor all of your marketing directly to the hearts and minds of your most ideal patient population. So what I'm going to do here is illustrate to you how to do this. And you can find access to this right below. So now once you have your avatar and population picked out, the next thing we want to do is go over to our cash practice copy blueprint to have an entire marketing report created for your avatar that we can use in our marketing material. So I'm going to go over to my notes section here because I put together an example of what it is we're actually looking to create here. And so we're going to type in a description of exactly who it is we work with and plug it into the tool that we have here. Okay, so I'm going to select this whole thing just because I don't want to have you have to sit there and watch me type all this out. And so now we're going to go over to our cash practice copy blueprint that you can find beneath this video. I'm going to paste in this description. Now, the more descriptive you are and the more detail you provide into this, the better the report you're going to get. So I'm just going to hit next. Okay, not sure what that was, but here we go. Okay, so it creates this entire report breaking down your avatar, gives you specific examples, goals, their general information, all their goals, their secondary goals, as well as their fears and everything that we need to be able to start to pinpoint our marketing strategies on who it is we want to attract. We use this for everything from our email campaigns, our Facebook ads, to the brochures that we create, what we write on our website, to the kinds of language that we're using over the phone when we're talking to prospects, trying to get them in for an evaluation. And so go and use this tool. And then once you have all this information, you can copy this down. We can start to train for what are their top objections, what are the mistaken beliefs that they have that might prevent them from wanting to move forward, that we want to address in our emails, in our nurturing, and in our marketing campaigns. And so I'll break down an example: a project manager, avid runner and cyclist, experiencing chronic knee pain that limits activity affecting work and lifestyle, wants to return to running and biking without pain and avoid surgery and heavy medications. Okay, and so this does a really good job at breaking all this down. And then it gives you even other things like our transformational statements, things that we would then put on the top of our website so that when visitors get here, they know that they found their tribe, they know that they found the right place. Then we also come up with what's called a unique mechanism to make you stand out from your competition by creating your own special way of treating these individuals. And so you can play around with this and ask it to recreate certain parts of this document if you want it to come up with other options. So the root cause recovery method. I tailored hands-on approach to focusing on identifying and addressing the root cause of pain by combining advanced manual therapy, targeted exercise, and movement education. This method ensures long-lasting relief without the need for medications and surgery. Very simple, but the power of the unique mechanism is that now you have a unique offer you can present to people that they can't just go and shop around and find. And the more specific you are, the better this is going to be. So like if you focused on new moms or runners specifically, this would have a much more specific offer title that you can then start to use in your marketing to generate more excitement and enthusiasm and position you as a specialist, making it easier to sell. And then it'll give you ideas for content pillars. So play around with this. You can always ask it to come up with others. And we'll say, give me 5 other unique mechanisms targeting runners. And then it'll come up with a whole new thing that we can start to play around and piece together and give us more ideas on how we could refine this. Endurance enhancement protocol, the stride optimization system, the run pain-free blueprint. So all of these are now things that we can use in our marketing to help us stand out from the competition and make us specialists worthy of charging a higher price point versus a more generalist PT. Okay, so make sure that you use this tool. It is incredibly powerful and very, very helpful. You can then ask it to write some emails, write some ads, and help inspire some creativity for your next marketing campaign. So let's go back. Now, step number 3 is acquisition. Now that we understand what numbers we need to hit to achieve our goal, and we know who it is we're going after and what kind of language and problems we need to be focusing our marketing around, now it's time to decide how are we actually going to generate leads. Now, there's 2 options. You can go the organic route or you can go the paid route. Okay, now there are pros and cons to both of these, but I recommend never choosing just one of them. We want to have a diversified growth strategy within our practice, but there are some very important things that we need to know. So inside of my partner's practice, he started entirely organically, and for his entire first year, all he did was workshops, and he was able to hit around 240K inside of his practice in the first year. But how we did that was not something that we recommend everyone do, nor can everyone even have the option to do this. What he did was he did 10 outreaches per week. So this means he was contacting potential referral sources, dropping into classes. He was doing 10 of those every single week with the desire to get 1 to 2 meetings. He knew that if he could get 1 to 2 meetings a week, he could get 1 to 2 workshops scheduled per month. And so he was aiming to make sure that he was at least every other weekend he had some sort of workshop going on. Now, the outcome of this was he's getting pretty good results. He had about 20% of attendees turn into patients, which is fantastic, but he also had no life. He had no work-life balance whatsoever. He did nothing but network outside of business. So he had no relationships, and he was in a brand new area where he knew absolutely nobody, and all he did was work. And so he was pretty miserable. He was not excited about this. He didn't have much of a social life, and it really burnt him out. And that's when he ultimately found us, and we started to teach him how to scale his systems and to build better marketing systems that relied on his resources rather than his time. And so with paid ads, there's some really incredible things that we can do. And so we recommend most practice owners, we actually start out with paid ads while they're trying to build these local relationships. Because even if you do these 10 outreaches, like you might have a situation where they already have a partner. They're already working with another PT. Or they're so overburdened by people contacting them that they just find you annoying and they don't want to give you the light of day, right? And so for some people, if you're in a new area, it's really hard to build these relationships. And so we need a faster way to get money in the door while we allow these relationships to grow and prosper organically. And for that, we recommend paid ads. I want to show you what paid ads can actually mean for you, because we have ran ads for the last 5 years for cash physical therapists. And on average, our clients have generated 6.2x ROAS, which means for every $1 they put into ads, they're getting $6 back on average. Now, this is between 23 and 24, so this is at scale over the span of an entire year. And on average, our clients added more than $20,000 a month just from paid ads. Now, here's what those numbers actually look like. So here's an example of our profitability tracker that we ran with one of our clients that we tracked these numbers over the span of an entire year. Now, total ad spend for the year was $23,000. Now, if you divide that by 12, she's spending just shy of $2,000 a month, or a little over $50 a day. Now, with that ad spend, she generated more than $129,000 just from those ads at a 5.47 return on her ad spend. So that means throughout the year, for every dollar she put into ads, she was getting nearly $5.50 back on that ad spend. Now, because she was doing that, she didn't stop doing the organic marketing inside of her practice. She continued to do it. But what she saw was that the effectiveness of that marketing was more effective because she didn't seem desperate when she went into market with them. She already had cash flow coming in, and she didn't rely on anybody. Okay, she already had a cash flow coming in, and if they said yes, great. What this did was got more people interested in working with her because she didn't reek of that desperation, and she seemed like a winner. And other business owners want to work with their equals. They don't want to work with people that are beneath them because they want to work with someone who's going to help elevate their brand as well. So I highly recommend starting off with Facebook ads. Now, if you want to learn how to set up Facebook ads and what that actually looks like, I recommend checking out this video that I'll tag here inside of this video. It breaks down every single step of how to run Facebook ads to start generating leads every single day, giving you more opportunities to pitch and present your packages. Now, while you have leads coming in every day, also start to network and to build relationships, because having a long-term referral relationship can be immensely profitable, and you don't rely on algorithms or social media that can change at any given moment for all of your patients. While you have Facebook ads producing cash flow for the business, make sure you're also building up these long-term referral relationships in town. But start with Facebook ads, because you can have patients contacting you literally tomorrow if you set it up right, especially if you use the avatar blueprint that we've created to help put together your ads, your marketing, and the messaging and the offers that you're going to be using to pull people in. Now that you know the numbers, you know the avatar you're targeting, and you know which marketing channel you're going to be using to acquire these patients, now it's time to focus on the fulfillment of the business. Now, most people, they only focus on marketing, okay? And this is the biggest mistake they can do, because successful marketing does not mean you're going to have a successful business. We need to have what's called a high patient lifetime value. PLV. Now, patient lifetime value means the average amount of money each patient spends with you. And once we know what our average patient lifetime value is, the target you're going for is $2,000. You really want it to be like between $1,500 and $2,000, that it's still really, really successful. But what this tells us is how much we can profitably spend to acquire a patient. And the company that can spend the most to acquire is 9 times out of 10 going to win, just because they can outspend the competition. And so the higher lifetime value you have, the more you can spend to acquire a patient. This also means if patients are spending more with you, they're sticking around longer. And this means that you need to spend less time marketing, so this boosts your cash flow while also reducing how much money you need to invest to acquire your next patient. So if you're tired of always worrying about where your next patient's going to come from, maybe focus on increasing your patient lifetime value. Give you an example of that. Back when Ben first started his practice, he was struggling with breaking past about the 12 to 15K a month mark inside of his practice, which didn't allow him to have the 6-figure income that he wanted to have. He needed to be around that $20,000 a month mark. And at first, he thought that he needed more leads. His conversion rate was really good. He just wasn't getting enough people contacting him. But then he looked a little bit deeper, because he was already spending as much time as he possibly could on his marketing. He couldn't do more networking or workshops even if he tried. In order to get more leads, he wasn't sure what to do. So he took a closer look, and he realized that his average visits per patient was only 5. Okay, and so we thought, it's like, well, maybe an easier way to go about this was to actually double this 5 visits per patient. So we took a look at what he was doing. And at the time, he had a really good conversion rate. He was converting 80% of people. He was converting around 80 to 90% into packages. But what packages was he recommending? He was recommending his 6-pack. And so he asked himself, what if I just start recommending the 10-pack instead? And once he started doing that, not only did his conversion rate not decrease at all, but his average visits per patient went up to 9.1 visits on average. And so just by recommending a higher package, which people don't have to take, you can always downsell them into a smaller package, but just by recommending a higher package, it got more commitment from his patients, they stuck around longer, and he added in performance and continuity programs onto his packages, which got people staying around even longer. And what this ultimately led to was a increase in patient lifetime value, an increase in profitability, an increase in reviews because people are sticking around longer, which meant they were building a stronger relationship, and it led to more referrals because of the increased relationship that he had with people, because they're spending more time together. And of course, because they're sticking around longer, they were getting even better outcomes, because every single person would benefit from seeing a physical therapist more often. And so by stacking on performance and other continuity services on the back of his packages, he built stronger relationships, got more referrals, increased profit, and ultimately decreased his need for more leads. By doing so, to finally crack his first $20,000 months and then maintain that moving forward with less time marketing, with less costs going into his acquisition, and leading to more profits, more easy growth within his practice. And so these are the 4 steps to grow your cash practice to the point where you are now able to easily make a $100,000 per year income. Now, if you got value out of this video, I'd like you to like this video and subscribe for more training on what's working right now to grow and scale cash physical therapy practices. Don't forget to go in and grab our pricing calculator, as well as our AI tool for creating your cash practice copy blueprint. And if you have any other questions on what you need to do in order to get your practice off the ground where you're making the kind of income and impact that you want to make, drop them in the comments below, and we'll see you on the next video.